Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. 5 years ago, after the PM CARES fund was set up amid the COVID-19 pandemic, it continues to receive thousands and thousands of crores, but little is known about where exactly these funds are coming from and how they are being used. A number of RTIs have been filed, a lot of letters have been written to the PMO, which actually takes care of the PM CARES fund, but none of the letters have been replied back. And also the RTIs which have been filed, they have almost been left unanswered. Now, why this opacity about the PM CARES fund? And also the latest statements which are coming in as far as the auditing of the PM CARES fund is concerned, not much is being divulged. And whatever data is coming out is half-baked, it is partial, and a lot of things, it seems, are being hidden deliberately. Now, why are the statements missing? Why this opacity? That question comes back again. There's one journalist throughout the country who's relentlessly pursued this particular issue, and that is the renowned journalist, investigative journalist Poonam Agarwal, who did a couple of stories on how the PM CARES fund is turning into an opaque fund. This evening, Poonam Agarwal joins us. Thank you so much, Poonam, for joining. It's wonderful to have you on HW News. And recently, you had published a story about how the audited statements were not complete, they were half-baked. Now, what is it that the government is trying to hide? And if you look at the statements, with the audited statements which are coming out, what do they actually say?
See, the first thing that I want to point out that PM CARES fund was established in 2020 during the COVID, and it had a primary purpose was to look into the COVID pandemic emergencies. So when it was set up, the entire idea was to use this fund in buying oxygen cylinders, ventilators, and everything. So what we have seen that from the beginning itself, PM CARES had been a very guarded institution. The reason I'm saying is that they refused to reply to any of the RTIs, which were filed by several people under the provision that they said that it comes under public charitable trust. Hence, it is not under the purview of RTI. So, we do not know how it functions internally, and no information came out as far as the PM CARES fund is concerned, and the matter even went to the court about it. But what we are trying to achieve is to find out how the funds are used. That's the whole purpose. So, we see that there are 4 audit reports which were uploaded by PM CARES fund in the past 4-5 years. These 4 audit reports, it starts from the financial year 2019-20 until 22-23. So if you go through these audit reports, it speaks about 4 different sections: the opening balance, the receipt, the fund that has been received by the fund, PM CARES fund, and the expenditure. And at the end, you have the closing balance. So under these different headers, they have given subheaders like they have received foreign funding and all that, and domestic funding. They have mentioned the accumulated number, the whole number that they have received under foreign contribution. And at the same time, they in their expenditure, they have given subheaders where they mentioned about the number of oxygen cylinders purchased, the amount spent on it, or in PM CARES for children, or for the COVID orphan children, how much money has been spent, how much money has been spent on buying these ventilators over the years. But what we do not have in these audit reports are the financial statement. Each audit report of each financial year comprises of 2 pages, which has been uploaded. But at the same time, with these 2 pages, in the second page, you can see at the bottom it is written that financial statements running from page 1 to 12 or 15, it mentions, which shows that the auditor has also supplied these financial statements, which is missing in the audit report that has been uploaded. Now, the question is why they have not uploaded. Secondly, why financial statement are important. So the financial statement will give you the bare bone of the audit report, like where did the money come from, where it was spent. If you're talking about ventilators, so say which company supplied the ventilator, and after it was procured by PM CARES, where did the ventilators went, like to whom was it given, which hospitals it was given, when it was given. So the timeline is very crucial. At the same time, how the fund was utilized in procuring, which were the companies involved in it. These are the crucial questions which financial statement can answer. Now, at the same time, I would also like to highlight during COVID, if our viewers remember, 2020 and 21, they were very crucial because the second wave, when it hit in 2021, there was a massive chaos. Hospitals didn't have enough oxygen cylinders, there weren't enough beds, there weren't enough ventilators, there weren't enough vaccines. So people were running around. The questions were raised that, okay, government claimed that so many orders have been made, but what happened to those orders? Now, even these companies, they will release the product only once they get the payment, the advance payment to make it. So that time I remember doing stories. There were multiple stories that the orders were placed, but the payments were never made. So when did the payment go? So these are the financial statements which are crucial to know. When PM CARES Fund said that, okay, fine, we gave the money, but when the payments were released, did it were it channelized in a way that the payments were made, but there was delay in procuring them from the companies? Was there a delay in sending them to the hospital? So that is what we are looking for, the timing, the companies involved in it, and whether these ventilators went eventually in the hospitals, and also the fact that many ventilators weren't working properly after some of them were faulty. So these are the questions which we might get answered.
Right, but is it true that the funds are still trickling in, but the statements, the audited statements, are missing? And apparently, what we know, and that this entire auditing is being done by a private agency. So the question is that why is CAG not looking into this crucial aspect?
See, the fact that the private institution is auditing it's a question which is being raised time and again, and the plea that PM CARES Fund is taking, that it's a public charitable trust, so they can do it. The point here is that why CAG is not doing is very crucial, because I spoke to some former CAG officers and they said that under the DPC Act, the PM CARES Fund can be audited by the CAG. And now why CAG audit is important? Because it will bring in transparency. See, the whole issue is about transparency. So once CAG is involved in it, their audit report comes out in public domain. That's the process they follow. So giving it to CAG it also means that the CAG will do the proper auditing and it put it out in public domain. It's a constitutional body. So under the DPC Act of Section 20, then in brackets 2, under this section, the CAG has the power to initiate audit into this matter, according to the former CAG officer. But the point is, why CAG is not doing something which I cannot answer. I actually wrote to CAG as well seeking an answer to this question, but there wasn't any answer to it. Secondly, transparency. That is the core issue, Neelu, that I want to point out again and again. Why are we bothered about PM CARES? It's not like any other public charitable trust. It is a trust which was formed when during the COVID, and people, all of us have donated in some way or the other to PM CARES Fund, having full faith in the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister's office runs it. The trustees are Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Defense Minister, Home Minister. So people had put in faith in the government, thinking that the money is going in the right hands. Now, all we want is the transparency. All we want to know how our funds were utilized. We can see broadly that the funds have been utilized and spent in these sections. We can see them broadly. But what we are seeking is are the minute details. That is what is missing. We can broadly say, okay, fine, PM CARES for children, they spend 346 crores, around that figure. But who all got it. We need those details and why it doesn't come under the RTI.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.